Hello everyone, so we are about to be in week 2. I know I'm posting this on Sunday, so some of you might still be working on week 1, but just for those of you who are ready, let's get into it. So as the announcement says, this week you will be finding your first 2 sources on your topic. So you will need to read them. Let's see, it says right here, read them, mark them up, which I will show you how to do in this video. Write 2 paragraphs, so 1 for each source, and that's going to be called an annotated bibliography. So really you will have 3 assignments or 3 documents to upload to the assignments folder, and then of course do the D2L post. So as I mentioned in the announcements, this is partly to begin your journey of finding all the sources and research you need for your topic. And it's also so you can confirm that your topic is a good one, meaning that it has sufficient research related to it so you can write a paper on it. So as I mentioned, you need academic peer-reviewed sources. Pretty much the best way to do this, to find those kind of sources, is to go through our library site. So you can click on this and it'll bring you to a page where you can go to the databases, but also you can just go to ppcc.edu and click on academics. So this is just the home page, right? So when you click, there's admissions, academics, student life, about, PPCC. So you can just click on academics, and then right in the middle it says resources. You can scroll to the third one that says library, and you could click on peer review right here and then just put in your search term. That way you bypass all of the databases and you just see what's out there. So you can try it that way. This is going to give you everything. I would just go to articles and click on peer review because that's what you really want. You probably don't want to read a whole book, and everything includes, I guess, books as well. So what I like to do though is I like to go to data. And this is the page that if you click on this link right here, it'll bring you to that page, right? So anyway, maybe I can go back. Okay, so I like to click on databases right here, this little red icon, and you have a lot of databases that you can, it says 49 databases found. So it goes through alphabetical order, so you could just scroll down. This is the one we want right here, ERIC, Educational Resource Information Center. Or you could just click on the E right here and then it'll just filter the databases that start with an E. So a database is basically a way for kind of a reservoir of different journals on a particular topic or of a particular kind. And so we're going to use EBSCO, but you can kind of play around with this. Like for instance, if you click on S, there's the social sciences, so the social sciences include sociology, family studies, public administration, social work. Now, that's kind of interesting. If we go to B, you have something about business. I haven't actually looked through all of these yet just because I use specific ones, but you know, you can modern world history. So anyway, I just think this one is will be good for everybody. And usually people can just use this database. So again, we're looking for peer-reviewed, so you do have to, on this particular database, you have to click on peer review. Full text is already selected, and then you just put in your search terms. So for instance, if I wanted to look at what was available on social media, they even have social media and mental health, social anxiety, so you can click on one of these, or you just type it in. You also have two other boxes. So if you wanted to do like mental health on this one, or you wanted to specifically do anxiety or body image or something like that, you can do that. But just remember, the more boxes you fill up, the fewer sources you will get. They might be better sources because they might be more specific, or you might not actually find anything because you're being too specific. So research is all about being creative, putting different search terms in, the search boxes, and it's just a trial and error. Maybe your search terms won't give you the sources that you want at the beginning, and then you just have to go back and try different ones. So when I click on search, I have 93 articles, and I can just start scrolling down. So it's giving me all of the articles from 1984 to the present. It does say full text, so I'm going to be able to read them. It says peer-reviewed, so I know that they are academic and peer-reviewed. And basically, a peer-reviewed source just means that it has been sort of validated and qualified by experts in a field. So, something that you would Google, just, searching through google.com, that's not going to be peer-reviewed. That's not going to be viewed by experts. Even if you go to a .edu or a .gov, it is not necessarily peer-reviewed. So a peer-reviewed source is usually not available to the public, and it's not written for the public either. It usually has technical terms. It's written by someone or people who have PhDs usually. I don't know if that's always the case, but I think it probably is. And they do a study and they submit their article to an academic journal, and then more people with PhDs look at the article and see, well, is it pretty objective? Is it pretty unbiased? Does it seem accurate? Can it be proven? Does it have good research behind it? So I'm going to scroll back up here. So we can actually start looking at some of these. Basically, what we want for this class is peer-reviewed articles. Now you have to find, I think it is six sources on your own. And then 2 of the sources I will give you through our D2L. But if you want other sources, if you want additional sources, they can be non-academic. I just want you to have at least a scholarly foundation. So for instance, this one looks good, the emotional impact of social media in higher education. So you can kind of see what it's going to focus on: social media, college students, social support groups, social networks, self-esteem, depression, anxiety. So this sounds pretty good. So, I'm going to click on the title so I can find out more about it. So here you have what is called an abstract, and this will appear on the PDF if you choose to download and read it. But the abstract is basically just a summary of the entire article. So this says, and this will help me understand whether I want to use this source for my annotated bibliography and for my paper. So college and university students have been observed increasing their usage of social media applications as it has become central to everyday life. Students can use different forms of social media to connect, share, and view a myriad of content. When influenced by posts, social media can have a significant impact on their lives. Social media can be a form of social support, but it can also have a negative effect on mental health. Okay, so I like that. This is good. Okay, so I want to read this. So basically, I'm going to try to find the full text. And you see if you go over here, it says full text from Eric. So I'm going to click on that. Sometimes it just gives you a PDF. But if it says full text through Eric, you have to take another step and find where it says download full text. You could, because you can't read it. I'm scrolling. I can't read it. It's 9 pages. That's good. So I'm going to download the full text. And you see now I can read the whole thing. So what you want to do, though, is you want to save this to your desktop, because I can't edit it here and you're going to need to submit this article to me. And this is how all the academic articles will look. They'll have a volume and a number. They'll have a year. They'll have the article title. Up here is the title of the journal, which is also going to go into our MLA bibliographic citation. It has the authors here, and then you are just going to have to look and see what the page numbers are. So it runs from 239, and then if you scroll all the way down to the end, you get the last page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my computer and say File, Export as PDF, and I'm going to put, this is my first source, so I'm going to name it number 1, the emotional impact of social media. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to save it. It's going to save to my desktop. And now here it is. So what I would do is I would just open up a folder and say English 122, I can't spell today, research. And then I would, click and drag this article to that folder. And then I have my folder with all of my articles because I can just go back to, now I can click out of this because I have it, and click out of this and go back to the result list, and I can continue my search for another source. And so I have 93, so maybe I'm scrolling down and trying to look for others, maybe I might have to go back and change my search terms. Maybe I want to say, specifically for depression, etc. Something else you can also do, if you like an article, you can go to these descriptors right here and just click on any of these. Like for instance, if you think, oh, I want to actually read more about, so I put social anxiety, or I put anxiety in social media, but I actually want to talk about social support groups. That kind of sounds interesting. Or depression, maybe I'll click on depression and see what it says. And I think that, yeah, so it just gives you, okay, so never mind, this may not actually be good because it also doesn't give you anything about social media. I thought it would. Yeah, so you'll just have to add in maybe social media again. Okay, so anyway, so that's how you find sources. And so what you'll want to do for the next step is you'll want to read this and you'll want to mark it up. So the best way to mark it up is to, when this opens, Acrobat Reader opens, you see on the top of here some tools. So this one right here is the highlighter. It says highlight text. I can click on it and I can just start reading it, and I can, start highlighting something. So maybe I want to highlight this sentence. Social media can be a form of social support, but it also can have a negative effect on mental health. So I'm going to highlight it just because that kind of sums up a little bit, what this paragraph is about. So when I go back to this article in the future, because I want to review it and choose quotes for my paper, I already have some sentences highlighted, so I can just read what I'm highlighting. So, you just want to go through and start highlighting different sentences that could be a quote for your paper, that sound interesting. And then also the second thing that you can do for marking up is you want to click on this comment box and you just click it again, and then you type what your thoughts are, and then it just stays there, and you can put comments all over your pages. And of course, you're going to type something in. And so then it starts looking like it's going to be marked up. And so what I would say is I want you to submit for each article that you do. I would like you to read the whole thing and highlight the whole thing. And so then at the end, you just want to make sure you click on save. And so now I'm going to exit out of this. And it's on my desktop. So all I'm going to do is, when I'm ready to submit my assignment, I'm going to go to assignments. I'm going to go to this annotated bibliography, and I think for you all it has a place for you to upload, and so I'm just going to upload this, and that'll be one of my assignments. So you're going to have two of these, right? You have two sources for this time. So you're going to have this one and another one, and then you are going to do your annotated bibliography. So after you've found two sources, you've read them, you've marked them up, you are going to go to this assignment right here that says annotated bibliography and read what it is about. Basically, it is just a step in research that researchers do to, again, try to brainstorm ideas, to reflect on the article. It's kind of a summary in a sense. So 1 through 6 is basically what it is about, what each submission or paragraph is going to be about. You're going to create an MLA works cited entry for each source, and I have examples for that. You're going to summarize what the article is, so that's why you have to do this after you read and annotate, because you're not going to know what the summary is until what your summary is in your own words until you read the entire thing. I want you to explain what the article has to do with your topic. Sorry, my hands were not on this correctly. I want you to comment your opinion. Was it boring? Was it full of information? This is really important. You have to include 1 or 2 quotes that you think you will use in your paper. So 1 or 2 sentences that you are going to, two separate quotes, regardless of how many sentences are in each quote, that you think you'll use in the paper. Comment on them. What do they mean? And then compare the source that you're talking about with another source in your bibliography. So that's what I'm having you turn into. So it'll look like this. You'll have your source at the top, and just, try to be as close to this model as you can. The last name, the article in quotations, the journal title in italics, the volume, the number. It might say issue, you have to change it to number, the year, and the inclusive page numbers. So this isn't the page number. So for instance, again, when I open this up, this is not page 1. This is page 239. So don't give me the page of your PDF, give me the page of the actual article. It just so happens that this article was on page 1 through 19. But see, this article was on pages 44 through 47. So then you have your paragraph, and should be about this for each source. So this is my first source, my first article, my first paragraph. So it's a summary. You see my quotes are underlined. I have the parenthetical citation at the end. I'm talking about it and answering all the questions. And so it looks like a paragraph. It is a paragraph. It's a paragraph of notes and summary and opinions. And so I have another one right here. This is basically the assignment. So again, the annotated bibliography is 1 upload, and then you'll have your 2 articles that you've marked up, and all that. So 3 things will go into this assignments folder. And basically that is it. Yeah, so if you have any questions, let me know. That's what we're doing for this week. So it'll be due on Sunday. So obviously not today, next Sunday. You have a week to find sources, to read them, to annotate them. If you have any questions at all, let me know. And good luck.